Okay, so this is video number 2. This one is on division. So make sure the sub gave you 2 sheets that have division. So one starts with example 1 and it starts with example 5. So same thing, you're just gonna cut the extra white off. For both pages. Okay, and then glue them on the next page. So make sure you glue the one with example 1 first, and then glue the one with example 5 second. Okay, so we're going to title this one dividing integers with numbered lines. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a bit. Alright, so I'm sorry, here's the title, dividing integers with numbered lines. Okay, so in division, we're going to only look at 2 division signs. The one with the little dots and as a fraction. Okay, so same thing as video 1. I'm going to do one, then you try one. Then I do one, you try one. Okay, so kind of the same idea here. We're going to show how to divide 4 by 2 using a number line. So, same idea. Think of, this is where you're going to start. This time you're going to start here at this number. And you're going to create groups of 2. And we're going to see how many groups we can make. Okay? So, for example, we're going to start at 4. And we're going to make groups of 2. Until I get to 0, because remember, division is just repeated subtraction until you have nothing left. So we're going to make groups of 2 until I get to 0. So from 4, I'm going to go to 2. That's 1 group. Then from 2, I'm going to go to 0. That's 2 groups. So how many groups did I make? I made 2. So my answer is 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and try number 2. Okay, so here we start at 10 and we're going to make groups of 2 again. So from 10 I go to 8, that's 1 group. Then I go to 6, that's 2 groups. 4, that's 3 groups. 2, that's 4 groups. And then to 0, that's 5 groups. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. So my answer is 5. Okay? Alright, so let's see how that looks like as a negative. Okay, this is going to be tricky. Okay, so this is going to be a little tricky, so make sure you pay attention. Okay, so again, this is where we're going to start. I'm going to start at negative 12, right? And then I need to make groups of 6. Well, I can't make groups of 6 because that's positive and I'm at a negative. So what we're going to have to do again is rewrite this. So we're going to think of negative 12 by 6. We're going to do 12 by 6 instead. Okay, and then we'll bring back the negative. So this time I'm going to start at 12 and I can make groups of 6. Okay, so I'm going to start at 12 and I'm going to make groups of 6. And I can make groups of 6 here because I'm starting at a positive. Okay, so I'm going to go 12 and then I'm going to count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that takes me to 6. That's one group. So now I'm going to count another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that takes me to 0. So I made 2 groups, right? Okay. But since I made 2 groups, but remember this negative means opposite. That means instead of my answer being 2, my answer is going to be -2 because it's the opposite of what I got. Okay? Hopefully that didn't confuse you. So we did 12 divided by 6, and then since it's a negative, we do the opposite. So the opposite of 2 is -2. So pause it here and try example 4. Okay? So again, we're going to ignore the negative. So we're going to think of 15 divided by 3. So if I start at 15 and I make groups of 3, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, right? So 15 divided by 3 is 5. But since there's a negative here, our answer is going to be the opposite of 5. What's the opposite of 5? -5. So -15 divided by 3 is -5. Okay, so now let's go to example 5. Okay, same thing here. If I start at 6, can I make groups of -2? No, because I have positives, not negatives. So we're going to think of this as 6 divided by 2. We're going to ignore the negative. So we're going to start at 6 and make groups of 2. It's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. But since this is a negative, my answer is going to be the opposite. What's the opposite of 3? -3. Okay, so go ahead and pause it here and try number 6. Okay, so same thing here. We have 8 divided by -2. Well, we can't start at 8 and then make groups of negatives because we have positives. I'm going to think of 8 divided by 2. So I'm going to count by 2's till I get to 0. So that made 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. Now, since this is negative, that means it's the opposite. So what's the opposite of 4? -4. So 8 divided by -2 is -4. Okay. Alright, so here we're going to start at -18 and we're going to make groups of -3. So I can make groups of -3 because I'm at the negative. So we're going to count by 3's. So that would go to 15 and then to 12 and then to 9. I'm counting by 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So then another 3 would be -6. Another 3 would be -3, and then to 0. So how many groups did we make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I made 6 groups. So my answer is a positive 6, because you can't have negative groups. We have positive groups. Okay, so a -18 divided into -3's gives me 6 groups. Okay, pause it here and try 8. Okay, so same here. We have -20, and we're going to make groups of -5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many groups did I make? I made 4 groups. So -20 divided by -5 is 4. Okay, so that's the end for dividing integers with number line. Again, if you didn't understand, watch the video again. Now what you're going to get is the last assignment, which is a practice sheet over multiply and divide. So just use your examples to help you. Again, if you have to watch the videos again, go for it. If you don't finish the third assignment, we will continue on Wednesday. All right, guys, good luck and do your best.